So I've been on social media. I've been pretty active on social media for the past, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks. And welcome to another podcast, guys. Sorry, there's no much of an intro, but I feel like this is important. I feel like this is something that we should be aware about, and this is something that I've just. It's not even. I guess now it's an experiment that I've been doing, and it's something that I've just been realizing. It's just crazy. And one thing that I've been so like I said, I've been on social media for past 3 weeks, just active. I reactivated one of my other accounts just to keep in touch with some of my old friends and at first it was pretty interesting. I was just like on it, just browsing around, mainly on Instagram, just going on about it, just checking it out. Then I found myself just on it all the time, and then to the point where I was just constantly on it. Whenever I have downtime, I'm just on it. Whenever I'm at work, I'm on it. Whenever I'm outside, I'm on it. I'm just like I'm so wired on it. And then it just came to a point where I started to feel depressed, and I started to feel as though, like I just felt numb, and it just, you start to get into bad habits, and it's just like it's crazy how it is. And it's ironic because I'm making content for YouTube, which is a social media platform, and it's something that is, so technically I'm contributing to this, what I'm talking about. However, I found it so interesting, just the fact that I was so like I started to feel numb just in general. Like I would watch a YouTube video and I wouldn't have no feeling. I would start to see a photo and there'd just be no feeling. I would start to, be around people and there's just no sense of feeling. And although, I'm always someone who says, if you want to make a living on online, you have to put yourself out online. I'm also going to say to balance the way you conduct yourself online, because from what I've been seeing, at least for my own personal self, is like I said, I've only been on it for 3 weeks, and since then, my mood has just been like it hasn't been the best. I've been consistently still making videos, but it's not the same. It's not the same feeling that I had when I first started, and I wasn't using as much. And part of the reason is not because I'm posting, it's not because I'm doing that. It's because I'm going on another account, which I probably shouldn't have, just to keep up with friends and just see how everyone's doing. And as a result, I'm just not understanding why like so many things are going on. So today's topic, I just want to talk about social media and my personal thoughts on social media and what I think we can do about social media. Now, our phones, and I don't have my phone on me, but it's somewhere over there. It's always going to be there now. It's something that's just a part of us. It's like our second it's like the second version of ourselves. Like I was at work, I was telling someone like your phone, they're trying to buy a new phone, and I was telling them, yeah, like getting a phone, that's a big investment now, because your phone is basically like it's like you, right? So our phones are always going to be connected to us. However, the way everybody's phone is different. Everyone has something different, right? Different apps, different senses of whatever you listen to, different videos, different messages, different contact. Everything is different, right? Everyone has their own personalized phone, which is why a phone is so precious to all of us, right? When we wake up, we go on our phones and we're all doing something different. When we're going to before we go to sleep, many of us we can't get off our phones, so we tend to sleep at 2 to 3, and then because of the blue light, we can't sleep until 4. So everybody is different in terms of just using your phones. However, and then there's the social media platforms. Now, social media platforms, they pay probably billions of dollars trying to figure out how to entice us, how to keep us in it, how to really just get us engaged with these platforms. And that's part of the reason why you may find yourself on YouTube, or you may find yourself on Instagram, you may find yourself on Facebook for hours and hours and hours and hours. Now, I've always been pretty decent with my social media like intake. Like I've always been someone who can go on social media and then just leave, or just go on social media and then just realize, oh wow, you're on it for too long, get off it. And I've always been someone that's been able to do that. However, there's times when I'm on it, where I'm just wired and I just can't get out. It's like a little bit of a trap. And one of the things that I did in the beginning of the year, and when I first started my other Instagram account, was I decided not to follow anybody. I followed one account, and that was just one account, because although it seems like, okay, you're trying to do this, trying to do that. Some people were thinking, oh, you're trying to, oh, because someone told me, oh yeah, because when you get famous, then you'll only have to follow one person. I mean, I guess people can say that. The main reason why I did that was because the year before that, I was consuming so much different types of content when I was a photographer. When I was a photographer, I was consuming content from, like, I was consuming content that was from, it was from photographers, visual artists, people that are trying to, become models in their industry, people that are trying to become actors, and then, all these motivational pages, and then your old friends, and then influencers, and then celebrities, and then there's so much there, right? So sometimes it comes to a point where when you're on Instagram, you'll find yourself just scrolling, and then if you look at a post, you'll double tap, and then boom, double tap, boom, double tap, boom. That's it, right? It's so effortless, right? And it's something that it's become so, like, and I'm looking into it now. Like, I'm really just researching it now, and I'm feeling like it's crazy how just things are just going, right? And this is a little, I guess this is a more of a serious podcast, but it's something that I just really felt the need to talk about. Like, I wasn't intending on doing a podcast for this week because so much has just been going on with life. It's just been really busy. But there's a spare time, I was just gonna take a nap, but I decided, you know what, let's talk about this topic. And although we're connected because of online, I kind of feel like we're kind of disconnected as well. We'll find us ourselves, like, even me, I'm totally guilty of it. We're around our families and we're using our phones. I'm 100% guilty of this. I'm not saying I'm a saint. I am by no means, like, perfect at this at all, right? We find ourselves, like I said, I'm a content creator. So I try to find ways to get people to watch my content. I try to find ways to get people to engage with my content, because that's me as a content creator. So technically, I am contributing to, I guess, the so-called cause, right? And sometimes when you're on social media, you'll find yourself going through, you'll go through content, and then all of a sudden you'll find triggers, and you'll find things that are, you'll find things that you might not want to go into. It'll be like a little bit of a dark, deep hole, and it's not healthy for yourself, right? So one of the things that we also have to remember is that maybe like 70, 80 years back, like maybe even 30 years back, right? It was very, very different, like, to process information, it's humans can only process so much. And the fact that we're online, we're seeing so many different things. There's so many different types of things that we can learn anytime we want. All we have to do is go on YouTube, and we can just consume that knowledge. It's so much for a human being. So for someone who may go through a lot of anxiety, imagine going through all these different pieces of content, and we're just trying to go through all these pieces of content, and then all of a sudden it's like we find ourselves that we're tired, we may have anxiety, we may see people that are living the good life, and that's what I'm going to talk about in the next, just in a few minutes. Yeah, we just find ourselves like that, and we find that we're tired, we find that we have a lot of anxiety, and it's just like, it's crazy, right? So that's something that, like, I've just been really looking into, and I'm like, wow, this is really interesting, like, just to see how hooked we are with these platforms, and how hooked we are with just online. And for me personally, I'll let you guys know what I do. Before I was on Instagram or really active on social media, I would go to just check out what's going on with football, and which is soccer. I'd just go check out, like, I'd check out the website, check out the rumors, just go on it just to check out what's going on, even though it really has no value for me, and it's just nothing. It's just like, it's really just like, it's effortless, right? And one of the things I want to do in 2020 is travel. Traveling is something I want to do. And when I travel, I don't want to have my phone with me. Maybe I'll have my camera, yes, because my camera, okay, I'm going to document, I'm going to show what's going on. But I don't really want to have my phone on me or social media platforms, because one of the things that, that I'm finding is the more I'm on it, the more disconnected I am with the world, which is really, like, it's ironic because you're trying to connect with the world. You're trying to social media. It's meant to be everything around the world. And like I said, I'm a content creator. I sell stuff online. I do e-commerce. I try to find people who can buy products online. I look for people who can view my content. I look at people who can look at my photos and really enjoy my photos. However, if you find yourself in this hole where you're just not understanding why everything is happening the way it is, it's time to take a step back. What I do when I'm on social media and I find that I'm addicted to it, or online, I'll just take a step back and I'll just completely just wipe it out and just delete all the apps, and then just focus, just not, not be a part of it. That's something that I will personally do. And that's what I do. You'll have to find your own ways. I know people that are on it constantly. When they're on break, they're on it. When they're at home, they're on it. They're wired. It's like a hard wire, right? And it's something to really, really be aware of, because it's like I said, humans, we're not meant to really, really, we're not meant to be able to consume all this stuff. Like, it's crazy, right? So that's something to really know. And I think that's something that's just like to be aware of. Like, the content we use on social media is just like crazy. And like I said, the next topic with is that, like, there's two things I want to talk about, and that's the rewarding feel, and instant gratification. Now, the rewarding feel is, what I mean by that is, when you're on social media, sometimes you'll find that someone is succeeding or someone's doing really well, and you'll be following their journey. And then at first, you feel really, really good for them. You feel amazing. Yeah, you're good. You're humble. Like, this is awesome. Then at some point, you start to feel like, oh, well, this is not going for me. Like, I'm working hard. I'm putting in the work, but I'm not gaining this. I'm not going through all this success. Like, why? Like, when's my time gonna come? And that's another thing that I found after being on social media for 3 weeks. I found that I was looking at a lot of different people and just looking at their lives and just like, whoa, like, they're talking about all these different things, and it's not wrong. Like, they're just, they're trying to motivate, inspire, and they're going through a good time in their life. And sometimes when you look at that, it's like, it's a crazy way to really, it's a crazy way to really, like, feel. And it's something that to really recognize and really be aware of and just acknowledge. And it's just something that, like, looking at someone else's life and seeing what's going on with their life is not going to make a difference in your life unless it motivates you, right? But sometimes we look at it and we tend to think that, man, they're living the life. When am I going to live the life? And one thing to know is that just because is doing well, and you see that they're doing well in a still or maybe a 10-minute video or 5-minute video, that doesn't mean that they're living a great life. Like, I know a lot of people online that are working part-time jobs, or they work full-time jobs, and what they're doing online is just like a passion, right? And there's nothing wrong with working a part-time or full-time job. There's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of times we're not going to show that. We're not going to show what kind of jobs we're doing. Like, we're not going to show that. Like, I do this YouTube thing, but I'm not doing Amazon tutorials. I'm not doing Shopify tutorials. Like, I'm not doing Photoshop tutorials. I'm not doing any of that kind of stuff. I'm not doing any photography tutorials, but you still see the end product, right? And maybe I will eventually, but I'm not showing every single thing in my life. Like, if you guys wanted to see my whole life from the minute that I wake up to when I sleep, you guys are gonna get bored. Like, if I live stream my day, like, completely, like, you guys may watch the first 5 minutes, but you guys are just gonna see me editing, right? I'm just gonna be on Premiere editing, editing, editing. It's boring, like, you have your own life to live, right? You have your own life to live. So that is something to 100% be aware of. Just live your life. do your thing. Like, just figure out what you want to do. And everybody has a different vision. Some people are going to be athletes. Some people are going to be artists. Some people are going to work regular jobs. Some people are going to be doctors. Some people are going to be nurses. Some people are going to be engineers. Everybody has a different role to put in. And for me, what do I feel like my role is? I feel like my role is a content creator. So what do I do as a content creator? I try to provide as much value as I possibly can. So that is something to be aware of. Know who you are, know your strengths. Just because I'm doing a video about this, there's probably millions. No, well, yeah, there could be millions of videos on this. Like, there could be about the same topic. However, the way we all go about it is going to be so, so different because we all have our own unique styles. Sometimes when I was in photography, I would look at other people's photos and I'd be like, why can't I be like that? My photos, I don't like my photos. I don't, as an artist, you're very critical. You're this and that. You're kind of insecure because you're scared of what other people are gonna say. And even today, I made a video for my workplace, and I just found I was insecure. I was uncomfortable. Like, I didn't really understand. I wasn't feeling that good about my videos. But what I realized is that you're doing something. You're putting in that work. That's your work. That's actually that's your end product, and that's something to just be proud of. And that's something that I've been just trying to just figure out. And I hope that you guys are watching this video. If not, that's totally fine. But if you guys have gotten this far, that is amazing. I 100% love the fact that you were able to spend the time just to listen to this podcast. And I will put these on Spotify as well. So definitely stay tuned for that. But it's crazy the way that things work sometimes. And I find that the more you do something, like, focus on your life. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, it's only been 3 days where I've been going through this, like, social media, like, not feeling good about it. But before that, I was like amazing. Like, I was focused on my life. I knew what I wanted, and I still know what I want. Like I said, this is I have this video of like this picture of Mecca. Why? Because this is like the vision. The reason why I leave it there is because this is my vision. I want to go there one day. And you have to envision what you want. If you want something, you have to envision it. You have to believe that you're going to get it. One of my friends asked me, do you feel like you're going to blow up? Inside, yes, I do feel like I'm going to blow up, but in a humble way. I don't want to blow up in a way where I'm arrogant. I don't want that. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. I want to live my best life. My vision is I just want to have a family. I want to, be able to sustain myself, sustain my family, have a decent living, may have a nice car. It is just like, that's what I want. I'm not trying to do it to impress other people. And that's something that is interesting too. And I think I'll touch up on that as well. But I want to live my best life. Everyone has their own best life. And like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm trying to find a lot of different ways to do things. I'm sharing my experiences. Why do I share the fact that I'm not listening to music? And for those who think that I'm not, like, just because I say that, there's things that I say in the videos, that doesn't mean that I'm not perfect. Like I said in my other video where I said I don't listen to music, I said I don't listen to music, but sometimes I can fall. And that's something to realize, that as human beings, we're infallible. We're not perfect. And that's something, the reason why I'm sharing these experiences is because these are topics. This channel is not meant to be something where I'm telling you what you to do. This channel is meant to be a channel to just share my personal experiences, and perhaps maybe you personally as the viewer are going through that same experience and you need the value. So why not listen and just see, maybe this can maybe this can help you. So that's what I've been personally doing. However, it's something to really, really touch up on. And I'm just going to do this like with quick. I'm not going to keep you guys too long, but one other thing is trying to chase fame. Fame is something that, like, last year I chased it. I was trying to get fame over everything. And it's like some guy, one of the YouTubers I listened to, he was talking about how fame is, it's like a drug. You want people to acknowledge you, especially if you never had that acknowledgement when you were younger. You want people to acknowledge you. You want people to feel like, oh, you're on top. You want people to feel as though you are the number one. You're the head chief. However, it's something that to really, really know that everybody's the same. We're all the same. We all bleed the same color. Even though we're different skin color, we're all the same, right? One thing that I find that we tend to be proud, like proud of who we are to a certain extent that we feel like we're better. There's nothing wrong with being proud. There's nothing wrong with being proud to be a certain skin color. There's nothing wrong with being proud to be from a certain country. There's nothing wrong to be proud to be a certain religion. However, once you start to devalue others, then that's when things go wrong. We're human beings. I'm a human. You're a human. Like, there's nothing different between us. The only thing that may be different between us is, maybe we do work different jobs. Maybe we work certain different incomes. And, this term success is always thrown around. Success, how to be successful, how to be successful. Everybody has a different definition of success. So I can't look down on somebody because they may not have as much money as I have and say that they're not successful. There's a lot of people who have a lot of nice houses, cars, and a lot of money who are the most depressed people, and there's some people who have nothing, who come from nothing, and they're the happiest people. So success is not something that should be seen as, okay, having a lot of money, having houses. If that's what you want, okay, that's fine. But if success is something that you feel like the world is really materialistic, and if you feel like success only lies through materialism, then I mean that's something for whoever is listening to figure out on their own. For me, I wanted fame. Like, I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be the guy, Like I said, my name was the Van City photographer. I was the guy. I wanted to be the guy. And I achieved like a lot of that. A lot of people thought like I was the biggest photographer in my city. And that's what on the inside I was like, man, this is not real. Like, this is not what you want, man. This is not what you should strive for. You should strive to be happy. You should strive to live a good life. You should strive to just, be honest, be real. Like you said, you can be tough, but you can be fair. And it's something that I've always been trying to figure out. And I'm not perfect. I'm a human being, and that's why I made this channel, because I want to show people that there's vulnerability. Nowadays, people tend to show themselves online as they're perfect. People tend to show themselves online as they're this and that. I like to watch a show called Suits. Why? Because there's a guy called Harvey Specter. Now, Harvey Specter is like the I guess he's like one of the head lawyers, right? He's like the big chief. However, one thing that I see and that you see is, despite Harvey being a champion, you see some vulnerability. You see the vulnerability. They show the vulnerability. But despite that vulnerability, he fights through it, and he shows that, okay, you know what? I'm going to persevere through it, and I'm going to be a champion in my own field. And that's why I like it. Like, players like Cristiano Ronaldo, like, the last few years I've been really motivated by him, because he's shown to me that despite all the issues, despite all the struggles and the setbacks that you go through, you just got to get back up and do it, man. You just got to be a champion. You got to do it, be a champion, Even like LeBron James, you see him at the gym. All these guys, like, there's so much that goes into it, and I respect that. Everybody has a different sense. And then there's some people who are happy where they're at. Some people may have never had that, and they're happy with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's why I'm saying, figure out what you want to do. And this is with social media. Don't look at other people's lives as something that, that you really, really want. Like, it's fine to want it. Like, if you look at someone and they have a nice car, that's fine. You can want it. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. If you want numbers is fine. Like, I still tell myself, hey, like, I'm going to have 150,000 subscribers. I still tell myself I'm going to have 50,000 followers on Instagram. I still tell myself that, because that's something that I just, having the reach will help me build my career. And that's just a fact, right? So there's nothing wrong with that, but don't let it be something that will take over your morals. So that's just a quick thing. Let me know what you guys' thoughts on social media is. Like, social media is a big, broad topic, but we might touch up on this in the future. But Thanks for viewing this, and we'll talk in a future vid. Peace.